My legacy as a head coach. Phew. I would say sorry.
My name is Marshall Harris, and I'm the creator of the Flying T logo. The head coach, F.A. Dry at the time, was informed by my position coach that I was a graphic designer, and that one of our school assignments was to come up with a logo, and that I created this logo that he might be interested in, and they adopted it. So the next year, it went from just a class project to, gee, it's on the football helmets, and it's on the uniforms, and it's on the letterhead from the head coach's office. I was drafted by the New York Jets, so I went off to play professional football and lived in the Northeast for 30 years. And in that 30 years, it went from just a little school doodle to being incorporated into, every piece of branding that TCU used. So guys got together and formed what they wanted to call the Flying T Club, because they're all alums from the period where the Flying T was, their logo. And they said, everybody's really passionate about the logo. And so they said, we'd like to use your Flying T logo as our brand. The Flying T Club's mission is to help support student athletes in ways that, the school either can't or doesn't have the funding for. And I went to their very first inaugural event for this year, Joe T's, and there were 400 people there. And every one of them had a Flying T logo. And I went, this is surreal. How does something that you do as a school project, as a little doodle, manifest into this?
Once Upon a Room is a non-profit organization created by a TCU student with a mission to brighten up children's hospital rooms. Volunteers talk to child life specialists to identify patients and decorate their rooms with tailored themes. Once Upon a Room provides relief for children of all ages who are fighting serious illness and trauma.
One of my best friends, Josie, was born a head conjoined twin in Guatemala, and she was brought over by a medical organization to the United States, specifically to UCLA Medical Center, to separate her and her sister, Teresa. And so when she was young, we would decorate her room when we would go visit her at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. It's really difficult to be a child in the hospital, and when you're visiting your friends in the hospital as a child, it's also very uncomfortable. And so this was something that we had come up with, and she loved all things pink and bunnies. And so the first time we decorated her room, everyone that came by it loved it. Like every doctor, nurse, child life specialist, volunteer commented on, oh my gosh, how did you do this? And so Josie had the idea to do it for other kids. And so we got together and I was like, we should call it Once Upon a Room. And so we thought it would be something that we would do at just one hospital, and maybe we'd do 50 rooms a year and leave it at that. And it quickly started to grow. In our first year, we did 110 rooms. And now we've grown to 35 hospitals across the country. And we've done, I would say, over 6,000 rooms.
Here at TCU, in our Fort Worth location, we're all TCU students. So we're able to get TCU community involved. And with that, we've probably had 300 people decorate with us.
3 years ago, it started with just kind of us three during COVID, like dropping off rooms. And then when we were able to come back in the hospital and actually decorate in person, we started bringing some more people who really showed interest in wanting to get involved. And then now, especially over the past year, we have been able to span over like many organizations all over TCU's campus. We've taken many different people from all different organizations in TCU, outside of TCU, and it's been great to just be able to like share this experience with so many other different people.
We've really traveled all across the country together to do this, which has been really special.
Mainly we work with Cook Children's Medical Center in Fort Worth, and we decorate hospital rooms there. I was really touched by this kid, Calvin. He welcomed us into his room, was incredibly excited, absolutely loved Christmas, and he almost didn't want us to leave, was like standing by the door and was just like wanting us to play with him, and it was so great to be able to spend time with him and like bring him a little Christmas joy. And I love Christmas rooms because all the kids get so excited and really puts them in the holiday spirit, even though they may be in the hospital during the holiday season. It's just really inspiring to see all these children in the hospital going through the toughest times in their lives and us being able to bring them just a little bit of joy and a little bit of happiness through it all.
We got the chance to talk to TCU student Ty Van Steenberg, who currently owns and manages the Jimmy John's right here on campus on University Drive.
Well, I'm a Jimmy John's franchisee. That's my career now, but I am an entrepreneurship and innovation major at TCU. I grew up in kind of the franchise world, so my dad's franchisee, my uncle was a franchisee, and for my whole life, it's really just kind of been what I've experienced growing up. My dad has done Jimmy John's up north, he still does, and ever since I was 14, I've been working in Jimmy John's. So I know the brand quite well, and I've come to love it. And so when I had this opportunity come up, I jumped on it and couldn't have been more excited.
We got to ask him what struggles and hardships he has faced while running his own business.
It's a lot harder than I thought. Yeah. Coming into it, I knew it was going to be a challenge, but every single day you come across struggles that you wouldn't have thought you would have had to before. Just things like hiring, working with people. I feel like taking on a lot of responsibility has helped me deal with stress and manage my time better. Managing time has always been something that I haven't been the best at. Advice is, well, I guess the obvious, work hard. Just you got to work your ass off, no matter what you do. And there's going to be times where you feel like it's going to fail, and that's just when you got to push harder. Yeah, come eat at Jimmy John's. Come get a sandwich. We'd be happy to serve you. And if you've never had it, come try it. We got some new things coming to the menu next month. We're super excited to be here, and it's a fantastic location. Come check us out.
On Monday, March 31st, TCU had a water main break on University in front of the Mowdy buildings. We talked to a couple students about it and asked if they had seen it and how it affected their day.
I was driving back onto University, trying to get into the commuter parking lot over there, and there was just this whole flood of water, extending far past the church. Traffic here was stopped for a good 5-6 minutes. Oh, it was crazy. It was like a whole river going down University.
Since they had to shut the water off, many necessities in Mowdy were unusable.
There wasn't water in Schaefer and Moody, so I wanted to go to the bathroom and I couldn't. I had to go to the other building to go to the bathroom during class.
As of April 1st, the pipe has been fixed and the road has been repaved. University is now reopened and ready for running cars instead of water.
We talked to Mary Couts Library Dean Tracy Hull, who has been busy planning a month to celebrate the centennial of the library's construction.
Yeah, this event is in commemoration of the library's 100th anniversary. And tonight, we wanted to do something a little more fun. And we wanted to bring the students into this whole celebration. Through the 20s, 30s, 40s, and somewhat into the 50s, they often would hold social events in the library, including dances. Back in the day, from what I've read and some of my staff have told me from the research, the students weren't allowed to have music in the library because it was a Christian institution. And so they got creative and they would hire or ask students that were musicians to sit outside, and then they'd open the doors and they'd play the music and they could hear it in the library and they'd have their dances. So we haven't had a dance in the library, as far as I'm aware, since that time period. And so we thought, what the heck, why not have a library that the students can enjoy our 100th? And so that's why we're here tonight. The library doesn't have a ton of funding, and it is a lot of money to put something like this on, but we'll see if we get push from students and they say this is something we want, then we may work with Student Affairs and we may make this an annual event, but I won't guarantee it.
We talked with TCU students about their studying and what they plan to do for the summer.
I don't know. I'm a freshman, so I haven't gone through college finals yet. But in high school, I would just go for my notes. I'm not the best studier, so I'm not much of a plan right now.
It's a lot of studying, you know, looking back at notes, going over some of the chapters in textbooks, really just like looking at slideshows and just the kind of stuff that, you know, we went over in class. So
yeah, for me, like in particularly, I'm more of a project kind of heavy classes right now, so I don't really have, I have one test, so kind of like what he said for that, but just really just been kind of putting a lot of papers and projects and presentations together.
I'm going over to Starbucks right now to study. Yeah, my main one that's stressing me out is probably my anatomy class.
we went into a study room, but they're all like booked up right now. So
I take like a lot of breaks. Like I can't just like sit down and like do it for hours on end, or else I'm just gonna get like so like over my head about it all.
It's a little stressful, but like my tests are like non-cumulative, so it's not that big of a deal. Like it's just a few chapters.
I mean, you know, it's only stressful till like the last week, but you just kind of get used to it, and just deal with it. So
For the summer, I'm going home. I live in California, so gonna be by the beach.
we're going fishing actually in
Yeah.
Louisiana, like
Yeah.
week after graduation. So that'll be fun. So.
Yeah.